Imagine setting up a brand new bank branch. The tellers absolutely need a direct, secure phone line to a highly specialized internal service desk, right? Without that direct line, they're stuck. They can't help the customer standing right in front of them. Well, in Copilot Studio, when there's no pre-built connection to a specific service, a REST API tool acts exactly like that direct phone line. It's what allows your agent to talk directly to external systems.
Here is exactly what we're going to master today. 1. REST API overview. 2. Uploading specifications. 3. Effective descriptions. 4. Tool authentication. And 5. Endpoint selection.
Section 1. REST API Tools Overview. Taking that direct phone line idea into the technical realm, you're going to use this tool when a custom solution is definitely required, but building a full-blown custom connector, that's just overkill.
Let's look at a scenario you are very likely to see on your certification test. Picture Woodgrove Bank. They've got an employee portal that exposes a well-documented REST API. Now, there's no pre-built connector for it, and only the internal IT service desk agent actually needs access to it. Building a massive, complex custom connector would literally be a waste of time and resources. Instead, a REST API tool is the perfect starting point. It's a simple flow. The user asks the agent a question. The agent uses the API tool to fetch the data, and boom, returns the result. Now grab a pen, because this is a crucial note for the AB 620 exam. REST API tools are currently in preview. That means they are not suited for production use just yet, and configuration options might change before general availability.
Section 2. Upload Open API Specifications. Think about it like this. Before your personal assistant can order lunch for you, you have to hand them a standardized restaurant menu so they know exactly what options exist.
In Copilot Studio, that menu is your Open API specification. To create a new REST API tool, you just navigate to the Tools tab, hit Add a Tool, New Tool, and then REST API. Now here is a highly testable detail for your certification: the strict format requirements. Copilot Studio absolutely requires an Open API version 2 specification, often called Swagger, and it has to be in JSON format. But wait, what if your developers hand you an Open API version 3 file? Don't panic. If you upload a v3 spec, Copilot Studio automatically processes and converts it down to v2 during the upload process.
The process itself is super simple. You literally just drag and drop your JSON file right into the upload area. Once it processes, Copilot Studio reads the specification and automatically pre-populates the tool description based on the info object defined inside that file. It's a really nice automatic head start, but as we're about to see, you absolutely cannot just rely on that automated text.
Section 3. Write effective descriptions. Asking a new intern to simply get food is wildly different from asking them to get a pepperoni pizza from Joe's to feed the marketing team. The generative orchestrator inside Copilot Studio is exactly like that intern. It reads your tool's description at runtime to figure out if it should invoke it for a user's request. If you leave that auto-populated description as something generic like a service for employee management, the orchestrator is going to miss invocations or just select the completely wrong tool. So the absolute key here is that you must rewrite it to be highly specific. Look at the example we have. Queries Woodgrove Bank's employee portal to look up IT profiles, assign devices, and access permissions. See the difference? That explicitly states what the tool does, the specific system it connects to, and includes vital synonyms. A critical, golden rule for your test prep. Write the description from the perspective of how a user will actually query it, not from the perspective of the API's technical architecture.
Section 4. Configure Tool Authentication. Think of tool authentication exactly like a VIP club bouncer. They're meticulously checking IDs before letting anyone access a restricted area.
Okay, once your description is dialed in, you need to assign the tool to a solution to group related components together and then configure how that bouncer checks IDs. Copilot Studio supports 3 authentication options. First up is None, which you guessed it is only for openly accessible APIs. The second is API Key. For the exam, if you select API Key, you have to configure 3 specific fields: the parameter label, which is just the display name shown to users when they're prompted, the parameter name, which is the actual header or query parameter the API expects, like X API key, and the parameter location, which must be set to either header or query. In our Woodgrove Bank scenario, they're using an API key passed right in the header. The third option, that's OAuth 2.0.
OAuth 2.0 builds on that security concept by using an identity provider. Now, looking at these credential mappings, you absolutely need to be able to identify these correctly when you sit for the test. You'll need the client ID and client secret, those are your application credentials from the provider. You need the authorization URL to reach the endpoint, and the token URL to actually exchange the authorization code for a secure token. There are also a couple optional fields, like the refresh URL for when tokens expire and scopes to lock down specific permissions. Finally, you have to define the access limits. Which Microsoft 365 organization can access the endpoints? You can limit it to just the makers org or open it to any M365 org. And the app client GUID, which identifies the permitted client application. Mastering every single one of these fields is a major competency for the exam.
Section 5. Select endpoints and methods. Selecting endpoints is basically like giving a contractor keys to only the 2 specific rooms they need to paint, rather than just handing them a master key to your entire building.
Here's the thing. When you upload an Open API spec, you do not need to add every single endpoint. The Woodgrove Bank spec, for example, might define 12 different endpoints covering all sorts of employee data. But our IT service desk agent, they only need 2, retrieving an IT profile and retrieving assigned devices. By intentionally filtering those 12 endpoints down to just the 2 that are actually selected, you achieve what Microsoft calls a minimal tools surface area. This is a huge concept. A smaller surface area limits unintended access to the API, and, crucially, it prevents the generative orchestrator from getting confused by too many overlapping options. And remember, just like the main tool description, you also need to rewrite the auto-generated action names and descriptions for these specific endpoints, ensuring the orchestrator knows exactly what data each one returns.
So when you're handed a massive Open API spec packed with dozens of endpoints, what is the single most important step you can take to ensure your agent remains highly accurate? It's keeping that tool surface area minimal. Select only the necessary endpoints and ruthlessly refine your descriptions. As you prepare for the AP 620 exam, ask yourself, are you currently giving your AI agents a master key or just the specific access they need to succeed?